What a evening in wild Algoma country. We've got snow most of the morning, getting really mild by the afternoon, and now it's changing to this evening a light drizzly rain. And when you get weekends like that, there's no point of trying to fight Mother Nature. You get weather, it's only going to cause you problems. So I think it's a good weekend to just sort of think about how things once were, and do a little bit of fur in the shop. I've got some beavers to work on still, lots of beavers to keep getting ready. And one of the things that I've been thinking about this evening is navigation. And there's so many different spots in wild Algoma that we like to visit, we like to return to, whether I'm hunting at a good hunting spot or I see a game trail that I want to sit on, and sometimes it may require me to get back there in the dark. Or if there's a fishing spot, we've got so much technology now, and we press a button and we hit go to, and we're there within a few meters. And that's amazing. That is amazing. And don't get me wrong, I use that a lot. I use that technology a lot. Did you ever think about how it used to be? How it was before there were maps? What was one of the best things we did when we were kids? We'd draw a treasure map. We'd hide something from our friends or from our siblings, and we'd put an X on a piece of paper and send them on a wild goose chase. You got to go up the mountain here, and then you go down the side, and you cross by the fence and over the creek, and there's an X there, and that's where the treasure is. Think about those times before the era of GPS, and we've got our phones now, our iPhones and our Android phones. We don't need to know where we are because something's going to tell us where we are. But what if that technology doesn't work? What if something happens that you're in the middle of the woods and your battery dies, or you lose coverage, or something happens to your unit, or you lose the unit, then all of a sudden you don't know where you are. One of the ways that we used to get around a lot when we were younger, or hunting with my friends, was we lean on landmarks, and those landmarks could be anything from a rock to a bridge, to a creek, to a certain tree, to an outcrop on the side of a mountain, to an old stump, or a piece of old logging forestry equipment, or even a nice piece of orange flagging tape. And you'd always, sit down and have a laugh about those. So if you're trying to meet up somewhere, well, you know where we were yesterday, that bridge down by the creek? Don't go there, because I'll be past that. So you never know how the instructions are going to come out. But the main point that I'm trying to make there is there always were landmarks. And it's so important when you're navigating around the forested areas and off the beaten trail, if you will, that you look at landmarks. Look around, see what's there. Oh, there's a clump of birch on that hillside growing. I know that that's something that's going to stick out in my mind. Or there's a large spruce tree with been covered in pileated woodpecker holes. When I get to there, I know I got to turn back to the northern direction. We've gotten away from paper maps, and we rely more on technology. And this is the old way of getting around the forest, navigating and finding our way from A to B was the compass. A lot of folks, unfortunately, are out there right now in the woods, or in the woods these days, and they don't know how to use a compass. It's important, if you're going to be out in the forest, you learn how to use a compass and have one with you. It's not going to be any good to you if it's sitting in your truck. It's not going to be any good to you if it's at home on the counter. Keep it in your pocket. They've all got a nice lanyard on them. You can put them around your neck. And check it from time to time so you understand, and check yourself. I still do that to myself sometimes. I know which way north is, but I'm going to check myself. I know that I come into the bush. When I left the truck, I headed northwest. So if I want to go back to my truck, I've got to go the reciprocal of that. And I've got to go back southeast to get back to my truck. And that will give me a line. And there's arrows on them, there's sighting lines. You can pick your azimuth, you can follow that line, you turn around and do the reciprocal of that, and you follow it back the other way. Very important tool. And I've talked about maps a little bit, and the importance of maps. We have so many things at our disposals. These maps that are in booklet format are fantastic. They keep all of Algoma in one, basically at your fingertips, and you get to look at it. The perspective of the land. They've got topographic maps that show you the structures, the hills, the mountains, the valleys. where the lakes are, where the creeks are, the names of certain lakes, and learn how to read a map, how to orient your map when you're going in. Again, as I mentioned, when you're leaving the road, if you're going in northwest, check your map, lay your map out northwest, use your compass to look at that direction and see where it is you want to go. Where is that fishing hole that I want to go? I know that I'm sitting here in my shop, in the first shop here tonight on a snowy, rainy, windy, was sunny day, and I can look at my GPS unit and say that if I walk 21 degrees north, I can get to my trapline cabin. It's going to be a rough walk in a straight line, but it's about 31 kilometers. I can follow this line on my GPS and it's going to be about 31 kilometers. And that's going to essentially take me to my doorstep. And if I get, it's going to be dark here in a couple hours. If I get lost in the woods, I want to make sure that I have a backup plan and have a compass and know how to use it. And maps are so important. And as I started off my little talk this evening about orienting yourself and how it once was, can you imagine what it used to be like when there were no maps? When the first indigenous people were wandering around the forest looking for food, looking for places to set camps up, and the explorers were coming over, and they were just getting into mapping the areas or exploring the areas like Algoma. Such a vast wilderness at one point, and so many lakes and rivers and mountains and waterways to travel. But you got to know where you're going, and that's my point that I'm trying to bring up today, is the importance of maps. And anyone who spends any time in the forest at all thinks, well, the GPS is good, gets me where I need to go, or my phone. Heck, we've even got maps in our vehicles now. We just got to hit go to, and it'll tell us where we are, and those are amazing as well. But understand maps, understand the history of maps and how they were sort of the initial piece of equipment to navigate with, the map and compass. Those were two things that, when I was younger growing up, that's what we used if we wanted to go and check out a lake. Now, we've got even Google Earth on our computers, and we can look at that, look at the landscape, look at everything before we even leave the comfort of our home. And that stuff is amazing. But, if you're going to spend any time in the bush, make sure you understand maps, where you're going, the direction you're going, and where there's spots to park, and what's in close proximity to your destination. If you get into a spot and you hurt yourself, is there a road closer? Say if you're heading in a westerly or easterly direction, is there a road closer if I have to get out to somewhere in an emergency? Or do I have to go all the way back down to where my vehicle's parked or where I got dropped off? Understand the topography of the land, and that'll give you so much more enjoyment when you're out there. Hunting, fishing, harvesting fur, picking berries, bird watching, whatever it is you choose to do in wild Algoma. Make sure you understand where you are on the landscape, how to get out in an emergency, and what's in close proximity to you, and you'll enjoy your time so much more. And like I always tell my grandkids and my kids, don't be scared of the bush. Just make sure you respect it. Know how to orient or navigate yourself into different areas, how to get back out. But if you get scared, you get worried, you're going to run yourself into trouble. And one way to alleviate that is knowing where you are. So stay safe this weekend, folks, in the Algoma country. It's going to be a slippery one. They're telling us tomorrow into Sunday and Monday even. We might be shoveling snow off the steps again in the morning. And by golly, I bet it's time we had some grass showing up. I mean, we've got a lot of snow still in the forest. I mean, it's really nice conditions now. You can walk on top of it. I was out early this morning, and it's like concrete. You can walk on top of the snow. And it's a great time to get out there and enjoy Algoma and walk on top of the snow. Snowshoeing is fantastic. Use your map. Use your GPS, know where you are. Thanks very much, folks, and enjoy your evening, and stay safe out there this weekend when that ice hits us.